Gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. Police have been arresting Tesla vandals. Actually, there's another word to describe them that the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Department of Justice are calling them. And these are the zealots, the morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats, almost always in these cases, that vote Democrat. And, you know, we saw what took place the past 5, 6, 7 years. When Democrats don't like something, whether it's your Make America Great Again hat or your lawn sign, they'll take it upon themselves to right humanity and be on the right side of history. And, try to rip up your lawn sign or take your red Make America Great Again hat, or in this case, God forbid, do something to your Tesla. But people are being arrested left and right. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Sorry for for being late, everybody, and I do appreciate your support and your patience. TBJ, hello. Everybody here, hello. 20 years in prison just because somebody told you not to like Tesla. Okay, they love Tesla, but there goes the environment. I guess they didn't care about the environment to begin with. I guess it was just a ploy to acquire political power. Who knows? Tesla vandals face up to 20 years in prison. Let's get to what's going on and the latest arrests.
Meantime, the Trump administration now promising to use domestic terrorism laws to prosecute those who vandalize Tesla cars and dealerships. Let's bring in California Family Council Outreach Director Sophia Laurie and Tesla owner Sean Freed. Thank you both for coming on. Sophia, so you saw a Tesla Cybertruck in Newport Beach. That's kind of a conservative part of California, right? Vandalized with a Nazi scum graffiti mark on it. What did you see, and what do you know about it?
Yeah, so this Cybertruck, it said Nazi scum. And like you said, Newport Beach, Orange County is kind of the red bubble in California. There was a letter left on the car that said, I saw the woman who did this. So a lady did it. You know, it's been sitting out there since Wednesday like that. And I hope that the owner of the Tesla, my neighbor, chooses to prosecute this to the full extent.
Does your neighbor know anything about why he was targeted?
No idea. The neighbor does not know why, but this is evidently an attack on
the neighbor, like all people who are suffering from the delusional, apoplectic, morally superior, highly educated, liberal Democratic Party zealotry, theology. It's almost a religious cult of a great many atheists. Which atheism, if you're an atheist, fine, great, but don't replace it with a political religion. This is not about morality. This is about a cult-like allegiance to a political theology. This is something beyond politics. First of all, you have to be, let's just continue. The insurance company pays for this. You're not dissuading anyone if you do something outlandish or actually criminal like this. But let's continue.
This is evidently an attack on the freedom of speech and people who think differently than the deranged left.
Yeah. Meantime, Sean, you had your vehicle attacked. You were at a Broadway show in New York City, and you came out, and that somebody had taken a marking pen, right? And they wrote on the what happened to you? What did you come out? What did you see?
Yeah. So on the car, they wrote, "This car supports Nazis."
And why? You're not a political guy, Sean. When you came out, were you surprised? So they took a Sharpie and they wrote on your car. I know there was a protest going out, but why would they target you? And what do you think about being?
Well, the highly educated, left-leaning, morally superior imbeciles who do this have never read a book on what the 1930s and 1940s actually did. So Elon Musk, Trump Republicans, Tesla, SpaceX, nobody associated with Trump dislikes, Jewish people or wants to murder or take the lives of 6 million men, women, and children like the 1930s and 1940s Germans did. I'm trying to speak in algorithmically friendly manner. The 1930s and 1940s Germans took over Europe, parts of Russia, North Africa, and set up a monstrous bureaucracy to commit unspeakable, insidious, barbaric, the definition of evil, unspeakable atrocities to take the lives of 6 million men, women, and children, 1.5 million children who were I'm trying to speak in algorithmically friendly manner. 6 million Jewish people and 1.5 million Jewish children in that time. Okay. And millions of Polish people and millions of Russians and millions of people throughout Europe and Ukraine, throughout Europe. And the only way Democrats can get their point across is calling people the definition of evil, which, of course, is not accurate in any way, shape, or form. But it makes their morally bereft vantage point, because the vantage point is, oh my God, you're cutting the government, you're cutting government waste and fraud, you're cutting people's, government jobs, so you are now the 1930s and 1940s Germans, which, by the way, had to rely on the same type of Byzantine labyrinth of a bureaucracy, not the same type of a bureaucracy we have now, but they relied on state power and bureaucracy, which Musk and DOJ and Trump are crushing. The Democrats love bureaucracy and a massive state. That a gigantic state and bureaucratic apparatus was how the 1930s and 1940s Germans were able to commit the unspeakable definition of evil and atrocity. But again, you would have to read something. You would have to actually have to read a book. You'd actually have to, learn a little bit about what took place, not make absurd, outlandish, apoplectic leaps of logic. You disagree with us, therefore you're a 1930s and 1940s German. Says the morally, and you're driving a Tesla. We're told not to like Tesla now, even though it helps the environment. Well, we threw that out the window. But anyway, let's continue.
Being targeted.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just the opportunity arose. They saw Tesla and they wanted to send a message. And I don't know why they chose me. And I guess what I think about it, I think it's unfortunate that regular people like myself are getting drawn into this unnecessarily.
Elon doesn't own the cars, Sophia. That's the whole problem. Elon's not getting hurt. You're hurting Americans. You're hurting people like Sean. You're hurting the people who build the cars.
Democrats don't care. They lost the popular vote every battleground state. They don't care. It's all about emotion. They're not passing amnesty or single-payer health care bills or anything like that, or they're not writing them. They don't have the House or the Senate. When they did, they didn't pass any amnesty bills, or they didn't pass any single-payer health care or Green New Deal bills. They don't run on actual political objectives, like normal, traditional political objectives of where there's laws that help the country. They adhere to ideology. Trump wants to enforce border laws and immigration laws. He wants to cut taxes. He wants to limit and end never-ending nuclear conflict, wars. These are good for everybody. The Democratic ethos is adhere to an ideology good for the political party, not for the entire country, for the political party. And if you don't, you're then a 1930s and 1940s German. These are the same people who don't go to Thanksgiving. These are the same people who disown friends and family. It's a political cult. It's a theology. It's a religious. It's a theocratic, political, theological, religious cult based on politics and atheism and social acceptance. And it's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's a religious, it's like an atheistic religious revival based on social acceptance where the majority of this kind of value system does not resonate with the quote-unquote working class that Democrats care so much about.
And who buy the cars. And you're, by laughing like Tim Walz does at the stock of Tesla going down, you're hurting people who invest in the stock market.
Absolutely. And when Tim Walz is laughing about this, you're laughing about an American company losing stock. And like Sean, he probably bought the car because it was the best financial decision for him and his family. And now he's being attacked simply because Elon Musk is the CEO of Tesla. It's horrible. It's beyond horrible what the left is doing. And at the end of the day, they're attacking all Americans, and this needs to end.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Sean, because I was kind of reading your talking points. You've owned...
If they said don't drive Ford, Democrats wouldn't drive Ford. Anything that is popular within the Democratic Party ideology or liberal ideology, they say if they said buy 50 Hummers tomorrow, they would buy 50 Hummers, 10 semi-trucks, and like coal, if there was a car that ran coal, okay? And like if they said suddenly smokestacks are good, they would have smokestacks in each home. It's not about protecting the environment. That was a way, for some people it is. Some people actually care about the planet, but for most it was a way to judge, condemn, pontificate. It's a religious, it's an atheistic political religion centered around condemnation and judgment. That's it. And that's why they disown friends, lifelong friends and family. I gave you a kidney, but you voted, but you're driving a Tesla, so I can't talk to you anymore. If Ford, if any product, anything that they're told to not like, okay, most conservatives still drank Bud Light, okay? Most Trump supporters still drank Bud Light, okay? It wasn't like, but if you didn't like Bud Light and you were a Trump supporter, it's not like you vandalized the person's personal property because they were drinking a Bud Light. But see, the way Democrats are, it's an atheistic political religion. So these are like zealots. They have to like enforce their sacred cows, or they have to worship their sacred cows and enforce some kind of warped, distorted view of morality.
A number of Teslas going back like 7-8 years, and you're not a political guy. This is not a political statement. You're not buying Teslas to make a political statement. You're buying them apparently because you like them, and it kind of brings up this whole conflict of why are people doing this across the country to people like you?
Yeah, absolutely. I buy them because I'm an engineer and I enjoy the technology. And this car I bought 4 years ago in 2021. So it's not hurting Elon Musk by vandalizing my car.
No, it certainly isn't. And the same thing with your neighbor. And what drives me crazy is the left, so many years, so in favor of electric cars. They wanted the whole country to be elected.
They don't care anymore. They want you to buy semi-trucks and SUVs and the most gigantic Hummer you can find that weighs 50,000 tons. If you bought a Sherman tank, it would be better than a Tesla for the same people who have 50 different emojis or icons on their X handle. And it's like, I don't have X, I don't have Instagram, I don't have anything but my YouTube channels. But my point is, if you rolled around in a Sherman tank or a gigantic garbage truck, it would be better for the morally superior liberal Democrats. They don't have the planet now has taken a back seat to their disdain for Elon Musk. That's how much they love the planet. Okay, so the whole thing was that person, that young person from Sweden or Norway, I forgot where she was from. The condemnation, the judgment. Oh, dear. Future generations are going to look at this. And what? Musk bad? Okay. 50 Hummers. That's fine. Smokestacks, coal-generated power plants, no problem. Anything but a Tesla.
be elected by 2035, and now they're destroying these things.
It's hypocrisy at its finest. I'm not shocked one bit that the left is doing this.
Yeah. Sophia, Sean, thank you both.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click.
And of course, they're all caught on camera. So that's another thing the morally superior don't understand.
Hour with an update on a story you'll see only on 2. We aired this video of a man vandalizing a woman's Tesla in a Whole Foods parking lot over the weekend. Houston police advised anyone who recognized the man to call its property crimes unit.
At least he was likely buying fair trade coffee. We wouldn't want to be unfair to the coffee companies in other countries.
Well, the man in that video called us and identified himself. KPRC2 reporter Joy Addison spoke with him. Joy, what a story.
Zach, that's right. Well, the vandalism happened in a Whole Foods parking lot in the Tanglewood area. The man in that video identified himself as Nicholas Carrion. He says though the incident happened during the height of Tesla attacks nationwide, causing an FBI investigation into domestic terrorism, this wasn't his intention. He says it was road rage, and he has this message for the driver.
When I watched the video, I noticed that a man was walking alongside what I first thought was just touching my car all the way from the back to the front. And then when I got out of my car to look, I then noticed a long scratch along that whole side of my car, including the door handle.
Happened just over a month ago on February 13th. The woman whose car was keyed opted to hide her identity after looking at her car's security video system and noticing that the man who did the damage followed her from the interstate. That man, Nicholas Carrion, says he was cut off by the driver while he was also on his way to that same Whole Foods at the time. He says he went inside, did his shopping, but could not let go of his anger. He now faces a criminal mischief and felony charge due to the amount of damage he caused. He says he was not aware of the FBI's investigation of finding reports of arson, gunfire, and vandalism.
So the legal defense, what kind of criminal lawyer will tell the judge, no, Your Honor. As you can see, my client was actually engaged in road rage. Definitely not vandalism. It really had nothing to do with Tesla. He was very upset with the road rage.
Tesla's linked to political grievances.
I felt anger because the woman cut me off. Please know that I did not mean to cause you that much fear.
The woman that we spoke with says she was not aware of any road rage incident. She says if she was, she would not have left her car alone in the parking lot. Reporting in the news.
Okay. Let's continue.
A Tesla dealership in Texas is raising all sorts of alarms about a series of attacks on Elon Musk's car company. Now, police say that multiple incendiary devices were found at a Tesla showroom in Austin yesterday. The FBI has now launched a task force to investigate what its director calls domestic terrorism.
They're going to imprison people for up to 20 years. Now, this is a lot worse than what took place in that terrible day in January where 4 supporters of President Trump, one of whom was an unarmed woman who lost her life, whose life was taken. Unarmed woman. Again, the Democrats didn't care that she was unarmed, and they didn't care that, and I agree with why people were peacefully demonstrating in Trump's last year in office with billions of dollars in property damage. Now you're seeing billions of dollars in property damage, CNN saying fiery but mostly peaceful, and now you're seeing Tesla takedown events by Democratic congresspeople. And this is worse in many respects. You have a rabid base of liberal Democrats who are not only keying cars, but throwing incendiary devices. arson is one of the most insidious and nefarious crimes. You have no clue where the fire will go or who it will harm or what life it will take, whose life it will take. But then again, you're talking to the morally superior, highly educated. So it's very difficult to speak in a pedantic manner to them and to try to explain. Trying to explain that they shouldn't key or hurt Tesla dealerships or get upset with friends who drive Tesla is, like I always say, trying to explain quantum physics to a house cat. It will not work. It won't work. But you have they have to learn some way. You cannot, you learn in kindergarten, you cannot, ruin or destroy the toys of other people. And morally superior liberal Democrats, you're so highly educated and morally superior. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. People love you. But you can't destroy things you don't like. No, no, no. And you're going to possibly spend 20 years in prison. But again, it's like, again, you're trying to explain very simple things that are basically like impossible to understand for the morally superior.
Karen Waugh is in Austin with the story.
On Monday morning at this Tesla showroom, Austin police say multiple incendiary devices were found and removed. No injuries were reported.
I have grandchildren. What if I was up here to show them a car?
This is the latest in a string of incidents targeting Tesla, from vehicles set on fire in Nevada and Missouri to graffiti in Maryland and Colorado. Since January, CBS News has identified at least 32 vandalism incidents across 16 states.
So, what are the odds that this is coordinated? Oh, 10%? 20%? 30%? 40%? Is it a 50% chance that this is coordinated? What are the odds that these types of things are coordinated? Okay. Also, if you key or if you, God forbid, destroy a Tesla or go after a Tesla dealership, they have insurance. You are not, well, there's a deductible, so you're ruining somebody's day with the deductible, but the insurance is going to pay for, and guess what? They might be able to get the newer model Tesla. Okay, and they're not going to go to an electric vehicle from another car company. They're probably just going to get, regular, gas consuming vehicle. So you've done nothing for the environment, but is this about the environment? Do Democrats care about the environment? I don't really. What do they care about other than their own religious theology, their atheistic political religion? Because this is like, there's religious zealots who do this for their definition of God, but at least there's also the other side of the equation with religion. Like all these atheists are like, oh, religion is not really logical. But you know what? For every zealot, there's probably 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 really beautiful, amazing human beings who, because of their religion, give to charity, save people's lives, help their neighbors, are good to their husbands and wives, their children. Okay, so the atheist will look, but what's the good side of the atheistic political religion within the Democratic Party? What's the good side? They lost. I mean, you can't say it's good politically. They lost the House, every battleground state, the Senate, the popular vote, the presidency. They don't have the Supreme Court. That Biden was cheated at, 8 years after Bernie Sanders was cheated. So, they don't even have functioning primaries. What is the good? What's the good in all of this? How does this help the country? Okay, you can say that Elon Musk and DOJ are, they're firing government workers, but they're protecting the country from bankruptcy. They're also protecting the country from fraud and waste. How are Democrats protecting the country right now? What are they doing to help national security, to help the country, to help the economy, to help the environment, to help anything? Aside from intimidating people, but at the end of the day, you only strengthen President Trump. Thank God Trump's adversaries are so stupid. They only make him stronger, thank God.
impacting Tesla cars, charging stations, or dealerships. On Monday, President Trump called those behind these actions, quote, terrorists.
I think they're going to suffer very grave consequences because they're really terrorists when you think about it.
Elon Musk, shame on you!
It comes as protests are taking place nationwide.
Shame on him for what? If Democrats cut government jobs, you wouldn't hear even one protest. You wouldn't hear even one protest. But like, shame on Musk for what? It's Democrats who lost everything politically. So now Elon Musk is finding $20 million for Sesame Street in Iraq. So why don't you just say, instead of shame on Elon Musk, we want $20 million for Sesame Street in the Middle East? Just say that. But they're even embarrassed. Even these protesters are embarrassed of that. They don't want $20 million. If you were to ask these people and say, hey, Trump wants to give $100 million in contraceptives to the Middle East. What? Trump? Oh my God, no! But then if you explain, oh, actually that's USAID. Oh, we like it now. I mean, it's like we could go on forever.
Nationwide against the role of Elon Musk in the federal government and DOJ spending cuts.
I've thought about selling it.
Austin resident Nick Colbert got his Tesla in 2021 and makes his stance clear with this bumper sticker.
Does it make you feel self-conscious driving your Tesla around now?
Very much so.
To attack someone over political issues is not acceptable at all.
Mike Manello owns a Tesla too.
If people are going to flip me off just because I'm driving a Tesla, so be it. I mean, just, wave to them with a big smile and say hi.
Resist what? You cheated Biden. He won his primary and then Harris lost the popular vote. Stop Musk. You can't stop Musk. He's part of the executive branch. The nationwide injunctions even the lower courts are siding with DOJ. Just recently they sided with DOJ, but you can't stop the executive branch from firing executive branch workers. So a USAID is part of the State Department. The State Department is part of the executive branch. Guess who runs it? The commander-in-chief, the president. It's in Article 2. But again, it's like they're talking about despots and authoritarian. We have a constitution. Read the Constitution! Read it! Read it! Anyway, let's continue.
All right, the FBI investigating the bombs found in a Tesla showroom in Austin as protesters prepare for their Tesla takedown day of action this week. Here's AOC on who she's blaming for the violence against Teslas.
I think Democrats are to blame for why people are so triggered by this, because when you're at rallies saying, not you particularly, but your colleagues saying F Elon Musk and using other words, to profane words to describe him, does that rile people up, your supporters, to take action on their own?
I don't know. I think about Republicans calling me a communist.
That has literally nothing to do with what Democrats are doing. Leading a public relations campaign against Musk, calling Musk, accusing him of stealing, calling him a despot, calling him a 1930s and 1940s German. So, but AOC has communists and socialists who like her politically. Calling somebody a communist might not be accurate, but it doesn't foment disdain, enough disdain to key someone's car. Also, AOC was against nationwide injunctions along with Ron Wyden 2 years ago. You've seen the clips on this channel.
And Republicans saying that I hate this country, and I certainly have felt the impact of that.
There are incendiary devices at Tesla dealerships. There have been fires, explosions, all these types of things at Tesla dealerships. There's zero correlation between the typical political banter. And AOC has called President Trump far worse than what anybody has called her. So it's like Democrats, their rhetoric is so heated. They don't even go to Thanksgivings, okay? And by the way, AOC once in her career should acknowledge that Bernie Sanders was, wait for it, cheated in 2016. We know this because Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign and promptly worked for the Clinton campaign. And Biden, why was Biden cheated? Biden won his primary. They don't even have functioning primaries. Where's that single-payer health care bill from AOC? And why does, if you go to Open Secrets, you have Amazon and you have one insurance company backing AOC? How does that work?
Okay, Fox News contributor and author of Califailure, Reversing the Ruin of America's Worst Run State, Steve Hilton joins us now. We'll get to that book in just a moment. But Steve, what did you think of her remarks there? I mean, wasn't that an opportunity?
Lou, thank you. Thank you, Lou.
To denounce this violence?
AOC is just such a ridiculous caricature of herself now. What is she talking about? It is very evident that the left are pushing this violence. There's no other word to describe it. It's political violence. It is terrorism. I remember very clearly growing up in the UK, we had regularly, you'd have little bombs in litter bins on the street, at railway stations, in pubs. It was IRA, the Irish Republican Army. It was a terror campaign. It was designed to influence policy. That's what this is. Yeah. It is designed to influence policy. And it's even worse than that, because you look at Elon Musk, this is one of the great.
They're going to find out if it's coordinated, and if it's coordinated, you're probably going to see 10, 20, 30 indictments where people spend 10 to 20 years in prison.
Greatest entrepreneurs of all time, probably the greatest entrepreneur. He's trying to help his country. What does this say to any business leader or anyone who wants to get involved with the Trump administration? They're trying to intimidate people. That's why we've got to clamp down on this incredibly hard. It is terrorism, just as President Trump says.
Also, what does it say about the political left that they think that this is a messaging strategy that is going to work? I mean, you tell me what you're seeing as far as the Teslas, and are they getting rid of them? I mean, we've even seen some of the Teslas out on the road who have stickers on them and say, I bought this before Elon Musk went crazy, or whatever it is. But is this a sign that the left really isn't going to learn from the last election?
Exactly. They're not learning at all. I mean, any normal person can see that the reason that they were defeated is they went too far left. And look where the energy is right now in the party. Yeah. It's the left. It's AOC. It's Bernie. And so it seems to me like they...
If the energy is there, their political party is done. They've already cheated Bernie Sanders, and AOC is... I don't even know, is she another reincarnation of Bernie Sanders, or is it performance art? Well, Bernie Sanders himself is performance art. They exist to funnel left-leaning votes back into the Democratic Party. So anyway, Democrats are in a big political problem now.
They just haven't realized how out of step they are with the American people.
All right, you've got this awesome book with you. The newly released book, Califailure, Reversing the Ruin of America's Worst Run State. What compelled you to write this?
Well, it's really...
So they're going to, they're already indicting people. They're already arresting people and charging people and prosecuting now. The interesting thing is the coordination.
Frankly, it's domestic terrorism. It's disgusting. And what the thing that's really horrifying is how many leaders on the left are celebrating it instead of condemning it.
So the FBI investigating attacks on at least 7 Tesla facilities in the past month. And it's not just dealerships. The people who own the cars are also being threatened. The DOJ is calling the vandals domestic terrorists. And some breaking news that we have for you right now. Attorney General Pam Bondi announcing severe charges against these arsonists. Alicia Acuna has the latest. Hi.
Hi, Taylor. Yes, and we do have a little bit more detailed information from this release from the DOJ and Attorney General Pam Bondi. One of these defendants is out of Oregon, and he was found, according to the DOJ, with an AR-15 rifle. He was arrested after throwing approximately 8 Molotov cocktails at a Tesla dealership. You also have someone who was arrested here in Colorado for arson and also graffiti at a Tesla dealership. That's about an hour north of where I'm sitting. And then again, in South Carolina, another defendant, he wrote profane messages, according to the DOJ again, against President Trump and Tesla, and also attempted to light a charging station on fire with Molotov cocktails. So we will continue to bring you more developments on that and what the DOJ is doing. But also, we want to tell you about a website the DOJ is looking into that is reportedly posting personal information about Tesla vehicle owners, including their addresses and phone numbers. And we're not going to show you that site because it is also encouraging people to vandalize and protest. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt had this to say earlier.
So anyone running the site or starting the site will almost certainly be indicted and face prison time. This is not like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino. They're probably waiting for more evidence. I hope they're not allowing this to take place, but it's almost as if they're just allowing a lot of this to take place to gather evidence.
Today on Fox.
He will ensure that the harshest penalties are pursued for those who are engaging in this vicious violence that we have seen targeted at this American company, Tesla dealerships, Tesla employees, and also innocent Americans who have chosen to drive these vehicles.
So for the last 2 months, and ever since Tesla CEO Elon Musk began working with DOJ, law enforcement has been responding to scenes similar to this attack at a Las Vegas Tesla dealership and service center. The FBI is investigating as incidents have spread to multiple Tesla storefronts and charging stations in at least 11 states. Police in nearby Lakewood, Colorado, are looking for the person who cut all the cords at a Tesla charging station. As I mentioned, a handful of arrests have been made around the country, but so far the FBI has not said if they are connected. And look at this. This man has been arrested for keying a woman's Tesla in a San Jose parking lot while she was in Costco. So Taylor, we've seen a lot of that kind of thing on social media. And in case anyone is wondering, the Tesla vehicles record their surroundings for their owners if they are put into Sentry mode. So if someone out there vandalizes a Tesla, the car itself could likely be gathering information to be used against that person.
Only Democrats would risk jail time to key a Tesla. How that helps politically, I don't know. I have no clue. But let's continue.
President Trump will be making an historic visit today to the Department of Justice for a speech laying out his vision for
We want to have safety in our cities as well as our communities. And we'll be talking about immigration. We'll be talking about a lot of things, the complete gamut.
And joining me right now is the woman tasked with the job, the nation's U.S. Attorney General, Pam Bondi. AG, great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Maria. It's great to be with you.
And of course, you sat and testified under oath to the Senate Judiciary Committee, the same thing, that you would only follow the facts and the law. Tell us how you will de-weaponize the DOJ.
Well, Maria, we've been doing it since.
You know what? There's one here. So if you go
day one.
DOJ team to work with DOJ on the cost-cutting measures. What can you tell us? Because they're going to dig into the nation's top law enforcement divisions, reviewing their internal budget reviews to find savings, right?
Yeah, the massive amounts of money that have been wasted truly, we know. I don't think any of us, Elon, couldn't even dream how big the massive amounts of money were that's been taken from your tax dollars, from my tax dollars, and just squandered away to foreign countries all over the world, the USA, the EPA, and they're fighting us on that. They're trying to force us to pay this money out. We're not going to do it. We have teams of lawyers fighting to protect our tax dollars, and we're going to continue to do that. Of course, we're going to lose in these liberal district courts, but we will win in the Supreme Court.
The Democratic Party could actually fracture. It could cease. Look, it's about 10% chance, 5% chance the Democrats fracture into two parties that cannot win. Or one party that can't win because the most ideological of the Democrats created their own political party. See, the people vandalizing will eventually get tired of AOC and Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. They'll finally, like the squad, the people who are doing the vandalism, these are like the true believers. And they have friends and they know people, and so they have social networks. They are the true believers of left-leaning ideology. They already don't like Bernie Sanders. Well, they already kind of don't like the Democratic Party, and many, I think, I don't know, this is from what I remember being on the left 10 years ago. They're probably already losing patience with Bernie Sanders and AOC and all of these performance artists. So the people who actually are the most enthusiastic about the Democratic Party, they might actually leave. Because when you have a political party that can't win, and if they don't win back the House, they might fracture in two. And as it is right now, they might not win back the House. This thing with Tesla, it helps them in the short term to promote this kind of resistance, 75.0 resistance. But it actually really hurts them because the average American is like, gosh, I don't really want Democrats in charge. I mean, look what they're doing to Tesla. So it doesn't the Republican Party is not the stodgy, Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld Republican Party anymore. There's life in it. People actually believe in enforcing immigration laws, all of that. Stopping nuclear confrontations. So it's not the old Republican Party. The Democrats, if they were to revert back to the old Democratic Party, they'd be better off, but they can't anymore. Because Republicans, the Trump Republicans are basically the old Democrats. They really are basically the old Democrats in many ways. But it is, once they cheated Bernie Sanders, they pretty much said goodbye to Democrats shaping the future of our country long term.
We will prevail. Donald Trump will control the budget. These agencies will control where their money goes. It was a setup from the beginning by all of these liberal agencies that when we came in here, all this money would still be flowing out. But they were caught. Now they've been exposed, and we will find all of them and all of our great agencies who work so well together will protect Americans and Americans' tax dollars.
With Shark Tank, he's Mr. Wonderful himself, Kevin O'Leary. Kevin, we love having you on. Thank you so much for being with us. What do you make of all this? By the way, the Minnesota State Pension Fund and likely Tim Walz's own teachers' pension and government pension fund out of Minnesota, it looks like it may own stock in Tesla, so he's beating up his own holdings.
Yeah, I saw that. Not a good look. They probably didn't do any due diligence on the portfolio. They probably owned that stock since $20 or $30. It's been a huge winner over a long time for pension. What's happening now is at the end of the day, if you ask 9 out of 10 people, regardless of their politics, this is arson. Lots of cameras watch this happen. These people should go to jail. It's a crime. And I don't think anybody watching this would like to see their car burned with gasoline or shot, regardless of the brand. This is lawlessness, and part of the mandate that the administration got elected on was to stop this. I hope they come down hard on these people. I'd like to see them serve their time. This is not what good people do, regardless of your politics. This has nothing to do with DOJ. These are just criminals.
Yeah, and we got Pam Bondi saying, U.S. Attorney General saying, yes, they are acting. They're finding these perpetrators. Watch this.
We have charged multiple people. Get ready, more coming. One we charged in Oregon is facing 5 to 20 years in prison. We filed in Colorado. We filed in South Carolina. There are more coming. And yes, the funding is one thing we are looking at among many others. I was personally in a meeting about it this morning. We are coming after you. We believe these are organized. These are not individuals out there throughout the country doing.
Well, of course it's organized. And I love Pam Bondi, but of course it's organized. And they are going to find the funding, number one, the social networks, the funding, anyone involved. And you talk about RICO. They tried to get Trump on RICO statutes. They're probably going to level RICO statutes.
Doing this on their own. They're targeting Tesla owners. They're targeting Tesla dealerships. They're targeting Elon Musk, who is out there trying to save our country, and it will not be tolerated. We are coming after you. We will find you. And if you are an organized group who is funding this, we're going to find you too. You better look out and you better stop it.
And to be clear, you said you came out of the meeting this morning, at least to some extent, you are seeing some level of organization and behind the scenes funding that you can investigate and potentially prosecute?
That's everything that we're looking at. Yes, we're looking at all aspects of it. These are not isolated individual events.
So, Kevin, you hear that? The Attorney General says the attacks are coordinated.
Look, it's only logical. I have no clue if they're coordinated or not. If you use one brain cell, if you have a functioning brain cell in your brain, you can probably say, there's 7 attacks, there's 7 to 8 all at once in different regions of the country. Gee, you think maybe? Oh, I don't know, maybe they're coordinated somehow. I mean, this is not rocket science. But Democrats, what they've done is they've said, well, we have nothing to do with Trump's last year in office and billions in property damage. We didn't fund anyone. We didn't pay for any plane tickets. We didn't pay for any bricks. We didn't pay for any signs. We didn't pay for legal defense. We have nothing to do with that. And so Biden's administration was like, man, cornflakes. And now Trump, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, they know it's coordinated. They're probably dotting their I's and crossing their T's, and it's a very weird feeling that it's like almost as if they're allowing. I love Trump, I love Pam Bondi, and love Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, but it's almost as if they're kind of allowing these things to fester, continue. Maybe they're gathering as much information as possible for some kind of RICO or some kind of widespread indictments that are linked to one another because they're coordinated. I don't know. I mean, I have no clue other than speculation. But I mean, this is the insidious, nefarious, sad, liberal Democratic Party. It's a theological, it's an atheistic political religion with zealots and performance artists and fakes and phonies. The people telling, like the pundits, they don't believe anything. They don't believe anything they say. It's an act. It's performance art. And the true believers that are doing these things, they're going to start their own political party eventually. And the Democrats will level everything they have at these people. And these people will, also not allow the Democrats to just simply trample upon them, or maybe they will, who knows. But the Democratic Party has to move left. But the left despises the Democratic Party. So then what happens? The political party is going to descend into further madness and chaos.
They're going to be considered domestic terror Well, what do you make of not a single Democrat in Congress has condemned these terror attacks on Tesla?
I'm surprised it's become a partisan issue. You know, Bondi just got her mandate. So if you're one of these people that lit these cars on fire, excuse my French, but you're screwed, because she is going to come down, as she said multiple times, incredibly hard to show that she's on target, on mandate. I mean, once you get this job and everybody expecting you to execute on it, and someone does this, I mean, these guys are fried chickens now. There's going to be no flexibility, no mercy, and frankly, they deserve it. I mean, it really, if you stop and think about it, what does this have to do with politics? You lit a car on fire.
That is the Democratic Party's political ideology. It's a religious, it's an atheistic political religion. You can, I mean, you can quote me on that. I should copyright that. It's an atheistic political religion. They disown friends and family. They don't go to Thanksgiving dinners. They want you to divorce your Trump-supporting husband. They're keying Teslas and, you know, setting them on fire and all that. It's mostly peaceful, though, according to them, mostly peaceful. Religion, any religion, you believe in God. Okay, a God. There's something above you that has created the universe, and, you know, when, God forbid, you take your last breath, you will have to, answer to or, enjoy his love and warmth. Okay. The God of Democrats is social acceptance. That is, their God is on earth. It's called social acceptance among other Democrats. It's not, hey, what does the man upstairs, what does the creator of the universe think of my actions? They don't care about that because they don't think he exists. So their God, their religion, is predicated upon social acceptance. This is why they text you, I can't be your friend anymore. Yeah, you gave me a kidney, but you're driving a Tesla. So they're told, okay, Trump is if you like him, you've blasphemed, you're a heretic, and you've committed heresy, and we don't know you anymore. We can't be friends with you. We can't be family with you. Okay. Oh, now Tesla? Musk? No. Another, you've committed blasphemy. You're driving a Tesla, heresy. Oh, no. And these are the high priests are the ladies at The View and, the right of CNN, MSNBC, all the wonderful pundits that make, hundreds of thousands, millions, and promoting socialism and democratic socialism and all that. Okay, they don't believe in anything. They cheat their own. They cheated Bernie Sanders. How on earth could they believe in anything? But the point is, it's an atheistic political religion. Their religion is an atheistic political view of life based on social acceptance. Okay? That's why they don't go to Thanksgiving dinners. Okay? That's why they disown friends and family. Okay? There's like a Pavlovian response to symbols and euphemisms and words. That's why they call everyone 1930s and 1940s Germans. They know, they're smart enough to understand that Trump and Elon Musk are not 1930s and 1940s Germans. Their moral vantage point is so bereft of morality. They lack the moral standing. So what they say is, we're going to call you the definition of evil. Therefore, that will elevate our already flawed value system or argument. So they make absurd, stupid leaps of logic. Trump is a despot. No, he's not. No, he's definitely not. He won the popular vote. People don't want despotic rulers. He's a despot. He tried to overthrow the government. No, he didn't. The Supreme Court gave him immunity. Wrong. He entered. The Ruskies interfered, and they helped him in 2016. No, not really. Comey wrote his letter because Uma Abedin's laptop was forwarding classified data to Anthony Weiner, whose laptop was probably, even more toxic than Hunter's. So, I mean, Bernie Sanders, he was cheated and he didn't even acknowledge it. Biden won. He's, hey man, I'm in the money. Hey man, won my primary, man. What? What, man? George Clooney, man. He doesn't want me to run, man. Did he defeat Cornflakes? I'm the one who beat Cornflakes, not Clooney. Oh man, what? I have to step down? I'm waiting 3 weeks. The best thing Biden ever did in his political life was wait 3 weeks. And then continually, and then everyone's like, step down for the good of the country. Step down. And then he stepped down and they're like, he did it for the country. I'm like, no, you catapulted somebody who was one fry short of a Happy Meal. Everyone saw it. George Clooney then wrote, hey, everyone saw it. We can't deceive people anymore. And then suddenly the Democrats allowed us to actually state what our lying eyes were telling us the whole time. So anyway, hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you. I know what. It's like, it's really unbelievable, but yet again, Democrats are actually helping. They're actually helping Trump and the Republican Party. They don't realize it, but they are. This is not going to help regain the House. Anyway, hit subscribe.